So, you think you might have hidden allergies. You have chronic symptoms or seemingly random episodes with no clear cause. Maybe you've even watched a video on this channel and thought, hey, that sounds like me. How do you go about finding your culprits? Don't worry, you won't have to give up everything you love or commit to a lengthy process just yet. There's multiple ways that it may turn out it's not even necessary for you. Here's our map. It's like a flowchart. There are 5 main steps, but they may not happen all in sequence. Where you are in your journey can change where you start. Someone might start with tracking because they can't get testing. Someone else might already know their suspects and are ready for testing. And some people will loop back. Elimination reveals another suspect that leads to more tracking and testing. Let's look more closely at each one. First, make sure to rule out other medical causes for your symptoms. Many symptoms have multiple possible causes that may have nothing to do with allergies. And your answer may be elsewhere. See your doctor. Be as clear as possible of your symptoms and any patterns you may be aware of. If you find the cause in this process, hopefully it's something that can be treated and you don't need the rest of this video. Of course, the fact that you are watching this may be that you have already sought help, maybe even multiple times, and found no easy answers. If so, on to the next step. The usual suspects are, of course, the top allergenic foods in your culture. Common allergies mirror what is frequently eaten in your particular food culture. For most westernized societies, this would include wheat, milk, eggs, nuts, and seafood. Other potent allergens, depending on culture, include sesame and mustard. But keep an open mind. Top allergens are the most likely, but you can be allergic to anything. Clues to your own personal answer may lie in food aversions and perhaps more so, foods you find addictive, foods you crave. Sadly, this was too true for me. I used to guzzle milk like water, sometimes up to 6 cups a day as a kid, which turned out to be one of my worst allergies. The hardest ones to spot are often the things you eat on a near daily basis. There's not enough gap between eating and not eating to notice a pattern. Consider also the top hidden allergens like yeast or mold. Sometimes travel and maybe even illness becomes an unintended elimination diet or challenge. So if you find you clearly feel better or worse when you differ from your normal routine, it will be worthwhile to try and isolate what the factor was. Consider getting allergy testing. Blood tests, skin prick tests, even patch tests if you suspect something like metal allergies are behind your symptoms. Many people have environmental allergies, which may be behind some of the issues either directly or through cross-reactivity. Don't be surprised, though, if most or all of your suspects result in a negative test. It's still an important data point that you are unlikely to have systemic IgE-mediated reactions, but don't exonerate them just yet, as they may be causing you problems through other mechanisms. If it turns out you do have IgE sensitization to food, you can eliminate that from your diet, but do not do a challenge on your own. If your symptoms disappear, then you have your answer. If you doubt you're allergic to it, request an oral food challenge to be done in the clinic, as it's not uncommon for someone to have sensitization and not actually react to it. This is called a false positive. And if you still have symptoms, keep on looking, as you might have other culprits. If you have environmental allergies, address those first with your medical team, since sometimes that alone resolves things. If not, there are some surprising ways these may masquerade as food allergies, and I'll cover this in the future. I know sometimes it's not easy to get these tests, either due to cost or your doctor may not be convinced and refuse them. I've certainly had that happen before. In that case, we need to gather more evidence, which can be helped by the next leg in this system. Food and symptom tracking can provide more evidence, which can be helpful for your doctor and to gauge if you want to commit to an elimination diet. I believe this tracking and analysis can complement the two main options we have at the moment. Testing can be costly and incomplete. Elimination diets are challenging and require a huge commitment in time and effort. This can help narrow down the likely suspects in advance. When I tried tracking for a month, it was able to show a few of my allergies all before actually undergoing an elimination diet. And this was done on a spreadsheet in Excel back 10 plus years ago. It isn't too much of a stretch to imagine that with some refinement and better analysis, the accuracy and speed could improve. Nowadays, food intolerance or sensitivity apps are available to do this kind of tracking too. You could also try AI tools. Obviously, don't rely on it to diagnose for you, but you can share your food and symptom notes and ask them to graph it, summarize patterns, or find common factors before reactions. Just remember to always double check their output, as they can sometimes be confidently wrong. Or you can swing the other way and go analog. Nothing wrong with pen and paper. The fundamentals are the same. Write down the time and date, what you ate, and any symptoms you have, physical or mental. At the core, that is it. Any amount of time that you can do this is still data. But to be more useful, try to aim for at least 2 weeks. To be really thorough, you can add more details about the food, such as quantity, how it was processed, was it baked or fermented, for example, any notes on freshness or ripeness. If you suspect you may have environmental allergies, you can note that as well. Is it pollen season? Any exposure to mold or dust? It can also be useful to note your menstrual cycle, exercise, any meds or alcohol, since these are common cofactors that can change how much your body reacts to something. Regarding mental symptoms, you might use health tracking devices or alternatively reports by a close other, since self-awareness for these can vary with some symptoms. Once you gathered some data, you can try plotting it. Start with symptoms over time. You can start with a number of symptoms or then specific symptoms. Also try plotting each suspect over time. If you see a match in the peaks and valleys of the graph, perhaps with a slight time delay, you have a likely culprit on your hands. If this is all too much, you can review your notes when you had clear symptoms, track back to see what foods or factors led up to that point, and see if you find something common over multiple episodes. Of course, there are limitations we can anticipate. Some cases, such as silent celiac, may display few symptoms to speak of, despite the damage that is still being caused to the body by gluten. Also, if you have multiple issues, the data will be really noisy. Still, the fact that it is noisy means you have something going on. Finally, reactions can be masked. The body may have adapted the best it can to constant ingestion of problem foods. Now for the last leg on our journey. There's a lot of information on how to do elimination diets already out there. The core principle is the same. You eliminate your suspects for some time. This can be anywhere from 5 days to 6 weeks. Monitor your symptoms and then reintroduce them and see what happens. A lot of guidance on elimination diets assumes, though, that you'd obviously know if you had food allergies. But it's entirely possible to not know and accidentally put yourself in serious danger. I'll be talking more about this in my next video. That's why if you narrowed down your suspects and before you actually start elimination, get allergy testing to rule out that we are not dealing with systemic IgE. This is where we loop back again to testing on our flowchart. Even if you were not able to get them before, with tracking data in hand, you may have an easier time convincing your doctor to order tests. Twist their arm a bit, metaphorically of course, that you're going to do an elimination diet and want to be safe. If all else fails, in the US, there are also options to privately purchase allergy blood tests. Different countries likely have different hurdles to accessing these tests. Also, if your suspect is wheat or gluten, seriously consider testing for celiac disease. You are much more likely to get accurate results if you do this while you are still consuming gluten. Sometimes you'll find after going through this process that you have new suspects. I looped through this a few times myself because, like layers of an onion, when you reveal one trigger, you find others hiding underneath, usually with sneakier symptoms, just overshadowed by the ones with the clearer symptoms. Remember, this process may not be a straight line, but wherever you start, each step will get you closer to your specific answer. Where are you in your journey? And any tips of your own that you'd like to share? Feel free to comment below. We can all learn from each other. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next.